What's up, streamers? So I want to talk about the new track by Joyner Lucas. I'm not racist. If you ain't heard it, check it out. I'll put a link in the description. Shout outs to D Block for sending it to me the other day. You know, I like the track. First and foremost, I like the track, and I think I understand what Joyner was getting at, what he was trying to do. I think what he was trying to do by this, and if you haven't seen the video yet, like I said, check it out. But it depicts your stereotypical Trump supporting white male, with the MAGA hat, kind of fat redneck bearded guy. I guess similar looking like me. And then your stereotypical ghetto black guy with, the braids and the jewelry and baggy clothes and stuff like that. So it's all like pretty narrative written. And they speak their opinions of the other culture and the problems with they see. And there's a lot of finger pointing, and there's some things on each verse that I agree with, and there's a lot of things on each verse I disagree with. There's some things that are categorically correct and based in some fact, or or at least loosely that should be talked about. There's certain things that was brought up that should be talked about, but for the most part, it was depicted as the narrative, your stereotypical of this side and that side, and the issues that these people voice or people feel like that's how they feel. I wouldn't say that it directly is how people feel. Like I just said, I disagree with a lot of it. But I think what he was trying to do was start a conversation. And I've talked about that many times. So I want to applaud him first for stepping out there in that arena, because not a lot of people are trying to do that. They're not really trying to bridge the gap of racism or whatever you want to call it. They're not trying to bridge the gap for the social movements. The social movements are almost more divisive. There's white privilege and Black Lives Matter and white nationalists, and all this shit is kind of crazy. And it's becoming more divisive instead of bringing people together. And so I think he was actually making points to try to get people to the table and talk about the subtle differences or the thought processes that people have of one another. And then if we can start talking about that stuff, we can diffuse a lot of these issues. We can diffuse a lot of these problems. We can diffuse the narrative in itself of racism, systematic racism, and a lot of this different stuff. Because I don't think that people in general really are that way for the most part. Yes, there are races. We know that there's races. There's white races, black races, people that hate Jews, people that hate Muslims, people that hate Christians, people that hate women. You can go, the list is on. There's gay bashing. It's out there, But as society as a whole, I don't think that we're there. And he makes a really good point at the end. They get up and hug because they figured out their two sides, even though they never came to like an agreement of anything, but it looked like they came to an agreement to have a discussion, to start seeing from the other point of view. And that's where it starts. That's, you have a conversation, you can see what someone's really thinking, So instead of just imagining that all white people are racist or privileged, or all black people are, fatherless and gangbangers, then if that's what you're imagining, your thought process is not only flawed, but your viewpoint of the world is really it's dark, and it's not going to be beneficial to anybody, and hopefully you don't reproduce. But unfortunately, like when you look at some of the comments and under the video, and then there's been other videos of it, you see the ignorance come out. A lot of people are like choosing sides on this, or some people ain't even smart enough to realize that it's one guy rapping and the two people, the characters, the white guy and the black guy, are just actors. But that's besides the point. You do see the ignorance where people are choosing sides and pointing the finger, just like the song was. And I don't think that's what the intention of the song was for. So, once again, thank you, Joyner, for at least attempting it. But more needs to be said. Why do we let the small things divide us? He has a part at the end, like after they get up and hug, it says, we were all humans before, religion separated us, before race divided us, all these different things that we argue about. politics. So yeah, you think about those things there, race, politics, and religion. Those things create major gaps in people where they can't get along, And if we sat down and actually spoke with people and understood, like, okay, I might be a conservative and you might be a liberal. At the end of the day, we probably both want the best for humanity. We might have different ideas how to get there, but if we could sit down and actually have a civilized conversation, we might actually get there. But instead, a conservative might be a racist and a liberal's, a crazy person who wants to abort babies, which I don't agree with myself. But until we can sit down, you're not going to move ahead. There's just going to be more hatred, more divide, and honestly, there's going to be no real change. At least not for the good of society or humanity or anything like that. So, no, my reaction to the video was, it was strong, it was powerful. It probably could have been a little bit better. There probably could have been more factual points, but I get he was building on the narrative, starting there. So I encourage people to have actually real conversations, real talks with people like this. It's uncomfortable. I've had many of these conversations. I've had them with the guy who sent me the video. We've had some real strong conversations, and sometimes we get heated, and we got to walk away because one of us is about to say something, ignorant. I'm a white guy, he's a black guy, and before you know it, he's gonna call me a cracker, or I'm call him ignorant or something like that, just because we disagree. So we got to walk away. And we got to know when to do that as well. Sometimes you got to walk away from the table. But you should at least approach the table and try to have the conversation. Try to get the stuff out. Try to have some understanding. Change your perspective, potentially. Like, be open for that. I'd rather find out that I'm wrong than live a lie forever. That's just me personally. A lot of people rather just be wrong in the wrongness, I guess. But not me. And I think as a whole, we would be better if we started to listen to everybody more on all sides. Not saying that you got to cater to this side or that side, or just because you listen to a side you're going to have to change your viewpoint. No, I'm not saying that, but at least to hear it so you understand where people are coming from, but to accept logic, reasoning, some facts, statistics to come your way. And if your thought process doesn't hold water after all those things are depicted, maybe you should change your viewpoint. That's all I'm saying. So that's all really I'm going to say about the video and my viewpoint on the video. I've said a lot of this stuff already before. So, once again, check out Joyner Lucas' video. Check out all his videos. He actually digs really deep in a lot of different areas that most rappers won't dig into. So, good job. Keep it up. And as always, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Peace.